I'm not just a classical music person. I'm not just a rocker. I'm not just an European. I'm not just a Romanian. I'm not just a person who meditates. Us are just this big mixture. Yeah, we are melting pots of the experiences and peoples we get in touch with, and that's the beauty of it.
Every life has a soundtrack. Join me as we invite guests to share their journey through music, one song at a time. 10 moments, 10 memories. I'm your host, Sean, and welcome to 10 Tracks.
Are you ready?
Welcome to 10 Tracks. My guest today is Irina CIOBANU. Irina, welcome. Where are you in the world?
Oh, thank you very much for the invitation, Sean. I'm so excited. This is my first ever participation in a podcast. I'm based in Bucharest today, Bucharest, Romania. It's very sunny outside, and I am at home. This is my living room.
Nice. So tell us about yourself.
Um, I think I can start with my relationship with you, first of all. I had the great pleasure of meeting you in a very special circle, a community called The Field, which I reached through coaching because our facilitator there and our master coach is somebody I met while I was doing coaching with Mind Valley. And from there, what you probably don't know so much about me is that I used to be a very corporate oriented employee, like a typical corporate person. I worked for 27 years in large multinationals. I was doing finance, HR, and now my life is a bit more relaxed.
Nice.
I am a coach. I'm building a small business, and I'm trying to take it easy. I live between Bucharest and Vienna because I am also married, and my husband has an assignment there. So I'm trying to enjoy as much as possible what these beautiful cities have to offer.
Well, I guess it's two beautiful places that you get to spend your time between, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, first off, how hard was it for you to come up with your 10 tracks?
It wasn't easy. I have a lot. When I like a song or a piece of music, rather, I get very obsessive about them,
Mm.
about it, and all those that you see are part of either albums or classical music pieces that have been on a repeat on my soundtracks for many years, decades even. Yeah, so it's like just trying to put 10 out of many into a list to talk to you. Uh, Probably if you ask me in a week or so, I can come up with a
It'll be a new
different.
list.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily the final forever favorite.
Well, I think it's also the purpose is each song should represent something to you, special moment or special memory or experience. So,
For
shall we
sure.
dive into your 10 tracks?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, and congrats for this idea. I absolutely love it, and I hope you're gonna have a very long list of guests, and I can
Well,
hardly wait to listen to them too.
well, I think sharing music is also like sharing, food or dinner or an experience. So it's important, and to learn about the songs that are important to you. It's so incredible. Um, so the first track we have here is Pink Martini.
Mm.
Tell us about that song.
Yeah, that song is a very special song. I don't know if you did you know it
Not that
before?
one, but I know the
No.
band.
Okay, okay. So that one, the original song, it's a Romanian song, right? I am Romanian.
Like a folk song, right?
Yes, yes. It was discovered by one of our cultural icons. She's called Maria Tănase.
Mhm.
She lived in the first half of last century, and she was such a personality. Okay, so the original song I heard when I was a kid, right? So many years after that, when I discovered Pink Martini, I was truly shocked to see this their version of it because they have, in my opinion, they have upgraded it a bit with a more modern sound, but also a very intense rhythm that I don't know how it sounds to you. It sounds very Eastern European and
Yeah,
also Turkish Ottoman, that rhythm. Yeah.
exactly. It has almost this kind of like hypnotizing sound to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You caught the exact essence because what the lyrics say, it's a song about longing, okay?
How do you
About
pronounce it in the title in Romanian?
până când nu te iubeam.
Okay.
And what it means is until I fell in love with you.
Yeah.
The lyrics say that until I fell in love with you, I could do anything. I could sleep, and as soon as I put my head on the pillow, I could fall asleep. But since then, I cannot sleep. I cannot sleep. And that's what it is. It's about longing and obsession. Yeah. And that rhythm that you notice, the hypnotizing rhythm, uh, it's basically tells you the idea that once you get an obsession, right, it can completely grasp you into this, black hole, rather.
It
Yeah.
takes over you. I mean, it sounds, the titles, when I translated it as well in English, it sounds very special and just kind of the whole feeling of their version, Pink Martini. And from what I understand, they obviously sing in French, they sing in
Right.
Latin and other things, but I think they have like between the singers, because they have multi-singers, 10
Yeah.
different languages they are able to do, which is
Mm.
incredible. And it
Yeah.
basically started as a band that needed to play at a special public or political event in the West Coast in the States, I think in Oregon or
In
Washington.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, indeed. They have two lead singers. And this version, I have seen them several times live, including here in Bucharest.
Oh, wow.
And this version I have seen with Storm Large,
Yeah.
the singer. Uh, they have also another one, China Forbes. She's more classical, more, distinguished. But this one is quite wild, yeah. And she dances, and you should see the way she moves when she sings this song. So when she does it in Bucharest, people go wild in the in the room. So yeah, I think what they have done is they have shown it's you can take a traditional folk piece of music and bring it into the present one more than a century later than when it was originally uh,
And
discovered.
it must be also special that a sort of band like this puts this beautiful song from Romania on a kind of global map as well.
Of
Yeah.
course, it's like they have this huge tapestry, as you said, songs from Asia, songs from America, South America, and a little song from my country. Yeah, so I do enjoy that very much.
So let's get into the next track.
Mhm.
This is obviously a famous composer, Beethoven. This piece, I guess, is a little bit special to you from you, who's actually the pianist in this?
Ah, yes, you noticed that. It is Radu Lupu. That is one of he's dead now, unfortunately. He was one of our most skilled and extremely private but perfectionist, well known abroad, less weirdly less known in our country because he lived abroad, and
Mhm.
I had the huge pleasure of seeing him once live in Bucharest. So I chose that interpretation of Moonlight Sonata with him also because of that. I love that you noticed this. But the main reason why I put it here is because I'm a huge fan of classical music, and Beethoven is my favorite by far. I just chose this one because it's like such a hit, such a uh, I could put any of his music here, right? And I used to live in the UK for 4 years, and I lived there alone. So he was part of my playlist with many things. Also during the pandemics when we were stuck at home, yeah, all of a sudden you discover that some pieces of music they can really lift you up or save your life a bit, yeah, when you
Yeah.
feel alone and a bit desperate. um, and yeah, to me it's fascinating how somebody who basically was deaf in the end could come up with such magical music.
I mean, this piece and a lot of Beethoven is timeless. I think it kind
Mm,
of sets a tone, and you hear certain, even if you don't follow classical,
yeah.
like religiously or have passion for it, when you hear it, it gives you this kind of strong feeling. So this is one, obviously, that's very special. So it's a
Mm,
beautiful song to put in your list. Uh,
thank you.
Now, the next track, I had not known about this. It's a French singer, from what
Right?
I know. Desireless.
Yeah.
And so this must have been a big hit in Europe, probably. So I missed out on this on the first go round.
I'm surprised you didn't know this, I think it's a very old song, but uh, I found that it still sounds quite modern. Yeah, that rhythm, and it has such a seriousness somehow about it. Yeah, like a commitment. Now we have to travel. Voyage. Travel, travel. Yeah. In French, that is both a verb and the noun, right?
Mm,
And not only it sounds very nice, even if you don't understand anything of what she says, what they describe is, once you travel, you can go to the ocean, you can go to the mountains, you can do this, you can do that. So apart from like very beautiful music, it speaks to me because I one of my passions is traveling, right?
mhm.
So I not only lived in a couple of foreign countries, but uh, every time I make for example, a list for my new year, right? I put there one of the wishes is always travel to a place I've never been to before,
Yeah.
right? Because I find that the more you travel, the more tolerant you become. This is one of the best, if not the best way of learning about another country, about other people, about a place in general, right? So many wonders happen when you travel.
I think it also you grow. by traveling,
True.
because by
Oh yeah.
learning other cultures, by seeing other people, by seeing different, languages or traditions, it actually, builds you as a person. If you stay in your bubble most of your life, you miss out on so much. And I think even when I first lived in the UK, in the 90s, I met so many people from across Europe or Asia,
Mm.
Australia, and it was incredible because I probably wouldn't have had that access to them as intense or close to me if I would have been in the States only. Maybe
Mm.
you meet different people here and there, but it wouldn't have been as intense and with all of these different and really get to get a piece of what they're bringing. So they're ambassadors, and the same for you. You go to other countries and be an ambassador for yourself and what you stand for. So it's very important to be able to travel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. True. What is also weird when I put this on the list is that normally I don't listen to a lot of French music, right? And I don't consider them particularly good at music, to be honest. But I have some favorites which are truly, truly beautiful. So, now with hindsight, I realize that the more you give like non-mainstream music a chance, the more you have an opportunity to, as you say, to discover through music other cultures, yeah, not only through traveling or any other. It's like any other new experience. So just give them a chance, and they will transport you.
Yeah, exactly. So we go into track four on your list, and obviously I didn't know this one. I've seen the film, but I wasn't that familiar with it.
Okay.
But I do know, obviously, of course, the composer Hans Zimmer. I mean, huge. And then the singer, who I guess is singing most of this, Lisa Gerrard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very familiar with her because of her work with Dead Can Dance. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you know them, but I wasn't familiar that her and Hans Zimmer, contributed into this song for the film. So tell me about why you chose
Yeah.
this.
First of all, because I love Hans Zimmer, right? He's my favorite composer in terms of movie soundtrack.
Mhm.
And I have a lot of his songs on my playlist. Secondly, because I particularly love this piece of music. I don't understand the word she says.
Right. I think that's
Uh,
her style. She speaks almost in another tonal kind of language. It's not always, English or so, but
right,
it's very much her style and some of her other work that she's done.
right, right. But the title of the song is "Now We Are Free." Uh, of course, the movie is huge, and
Yeah.
probably I've seen it countless times. But I assume, and also, by the time it appears in the movie, it speaks about freedom, and it speaks about, like breaking free, right? Finally breaking free. And, the rhythm and the sound, it just takes you to that place. Now we can press on and move and travel and do whatever we want. So it's like like even can be a driving music, you can just
Well,
go.
and I was thinking because I'm familiar with the film Gladiator, and I have not.
Wow.
I don't know if I've watched it from start to finish, but I've always caught it on TV and
Right.
watched like maybe 30 minutes of it, 40 minutes, and I've seen it beginning bits and then end bits.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I'm not as familiar linking the song to the film, although I'm sure where it is in the film. But I feel like the song has so much legs to stand on by itself. It's such a strong piece, and just that whole, it conjures so much that you can take away. Don't have to, as free to your own life or to others. What, like you said, driving. I'm not sure it has to be attached to that film.
It doesn't, I'll give you in a nutshell when it appears. This guy used to be a general in the Roman army. When he got home after, fighting wars, he found his family, his wife and kid dead, assassinated. And he was shocked. He buried them, and uh, things went very bad for him. He became a slave, gladiator. Yeah, he was bought by a gladiators trader, and he was made to fight in an arena for entertainment. But his final purpose in life was to just get revenge on the emperor, who basically was the one who ordered his family to be killed. So this song appears when he finally kills the emperor himself in the arena, because this guy had the ambition to show his more powerful, and basically frees the entire Rome of this tyrant. Yeah, so not only frees himself from this obsession to get revenge, he frees himself from life itself. Yeah, he goes into the another dimension, while doing something for the others. So that's the little story behind it.
Well, I mean, it's definitely, and I've started listening to some more of Lisa Gerrard's other stuff that besides Dead
Mm.
Can Dance, which was an early 80s band. So it'd be interesting to see because I think she's done more pieces for film
Mhm,
now. So
mhm.
number five. Obviously, this doesn't need an introduction, but it's an incredible song, and it does. I mean, the title itself kind of puts anybody, and you can feel this at some point in your life. Obviously, you two.
Yeah.
And
So as you say, they are to me, they are the biggest band on earth, right? So the way I got to know them was very, very long time ago when I was 17. I got a gift, their album called Achtung Baby. I was shocked. They sound like nothing else on the earth to me. And I put it on repeat. I think, was like a true obsession. This is not on that one. It's not on. This comes from the
Joshua
Joshua
Tree.
Tree
Yeah,
album. Yes, it's a song they play. I think almost every time when they have a concert. I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
yeah,
I've seen them live several times, 3 times, in London, in Vienna, in Rome. And the reason I chose the live version in my list is because it's like electrifying. Whenever you go to a concert of U2, it's like world class and complete immersion into the show. So yeah, and also this is this message that, as you say, a lot of us resonate with. I'm like searching and searching and searching for something, and I still have something to search for. It's not like you've found it and now you can rest for the rest of your life. So and it's not only that, the music itself is very, very beautiful and very poetic. So yeah, my favorite band.
I can imagine because I've never seen you two live, and I've obviously
Mm,
been involved or familiar with them from the early 80s. So even
right.
even before A Strong Baby, their stuff
Yes.
with Sunday Bloody Sunday and going back
Yeah.
to Boy. But I can imagine this song in particular, just in a stadium or an arena where they play in a huge, it just must be electrifying because they have that sort of sound. And this song in particular is kind of like an anthem for everyone
Sure.
at some point in your life. And again, I think you're right when you say um, we continue because if everything is complete or done, what's worth living for? There's so much to still do
Exactly.
and to find and to explore.
Yeah.
It keeps giving you more perseverance, I guess might be a good
Yeah.
word.
Yeah, indeed, whenever they come to this song, it's always they sing a bit and then they stop, and then the entire stadium, which is, at least 50,000 people,
Yeah,
depending
crazy.
on the city, they start singing this. You cannot imagine how it feels. Your spine becomes, ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got to be electrifying for that sort of.
it is. That's the word indeed.
Number six. Now, this is another piece. I'm a little bit familiar, but obviously this one piece I have heard before. This is Camille Saint-Saens,
Mhm.
and quite maybe more popular. But
Mhm.
also this version that you chose is done by a Latvian. I
Yes,
don't know if she's a soprano or what's her.
she's a mezzo.
That's it.
She's a mezzo, and Elina Garenca. I'm a huge opera fan, and she's my favorite mezzo. And this is the type of voice that I love, right? So it's a bit in the middle range in the vocals. Um, and basically, this particular piece, Mon cœur s'ouvre à ta voix, my heart is opening to your voice, is like the hymn of the mezzos in the entire world because it's so beautiful. Um, i- i- what I When I first saw this opera, unfortunately, I haven't seen it live. I've seen it on TV. It
Mhm.
was her and Roberto Alagna, the tenor, because originally it's a duet, right? So it's a song about two lovers coming together. Uh, with a very treacherous motive from her side,
Mhm.
because what she wants is to make him mm, lower his guard, and this way for her to find out the secret of his power, which is in his hair. Yeah.
Okay.
And yes, and once she finds this out, she betrays him, she sells him out. Those people will cut his hair, so basically destroy his power. So it ends very, very badly. But forget about all that.
Like
Just,
an opera should, I guess.
of course, yes, always like 99% of the cases somebody dies, and it's a huge tragedy, but it's so hauntingly beautiful,
Yeah, exactly.
and the text, he says, respond to me, take me to this place where I can lose my senses and so on. It's so beautiful. So and what he responds, it's not in the version because I couldn't find the version with the tenor. He only says, Dalila, je t'aime. Yeah, I love you. So that's why I chose this. But again, I could have chosen, like, there are so many areas in the opera
Mhm.
that are like, huge hits. Yeah, that you can take completely out from the big opera that they belong to, and just listen to them as part of a playlist as it is there now.
In Bucharest, is there a lot of opera, or how does
There
that
is
play?
Yeah, there is a national opera in Bucharest. It's not that big, it's smaller. My first contact with opera was in Bucharest, actually. I remember it. I was in my early 20s. It was a disaster. Yeah. So they played Cavalleria Rusticana and Pagliacci. There are two operas that they are normally played together. They are shorter operas. So, and I left at the interval. But after that, my next opera, I gave it another chance, fortunately. And the next one I saw in London at the Covent Garden Royal Opera
Yeah.
House. It was stunning. Yeah. So now people here, they are more and more open to the opera. I think it's almost always sold out when they have, especially when they have guest stars singing in the main role. So yeah.
Yeah, and you also have Vienna, which is probably
Oh, yes.
A great place for I have a work colleague who is obsessed with opera and he travels around. He's always like twice a year in Germany for the Ring, and
Uh-huh.
he will go to Vienna. He goes to several different, other countries
Opera
besides. He's in the
houses.
UK, he's in London, but obviously he travels around for the special operas that he
Mm,
wants to see throughout the year. So he has that,
yeah,
it's a great opportunity for him to continue with this. So
absolutely. Yeah.
we're on number 7. This is obviously from a famous band from the 80s or late 70s. This is one of the lead singers, Joe Strummer, and the Mescaleros. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know this song, but I knew another song off this album, Global A Go-Go. But tell me about this song because it's an incredible song. But thank you for sharing it with me because I never. But so tell me more about it and why.
Uh, so I knew nothing about this band. And to this date, this is the only song that I know of them. And I encountered it again in a movie, right? It's part of the soundtrack of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a very famous movie with Brad Pitt and
Oh yeah,
Angelina Jolie.
of course, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And when you listen to it, you don't associate it with an action movie. Yeah. But it is the soundtrack of one of the most action loaded scenes in the entire movie, where these two guys fight with, tons of other people, kill a lot of them. And so they are basically under siege. But this music, which is this relaxed lounge music,
Yeah.
is playing in the background, it's such a contrast. Yeah. And to me, again, I don't understand much of what he's saying there because it's a combination. No, I don't even understand what Mondo.
I don't know what Mondo Bongo means.
Yes, yeah, maybe a crazy word or something like that. But I somehow associate the idea of, you can have the most action-packed day, but if you somehow in your mind you play a chill tone, yeah, and stay calm and stay composed, you can, really, really achieve a lot and really do a lot just by remaining balanced and calm and relaxed. But beyond that, it's one of the chillest, easiest pieces on my playlist. So I said, okay, let's not be so serious and, and play something, easier.
But this is the beauty of music because you don't have to know the history of Joe Strummer and maybe the prolific punk band that he was in, The Clash, or anything about that to know that this song strikes something in you. And obviously, when it's related through a film, it actually creates a new life of the song on any film when they put songs in movies that are not like compositions or composers like Hans Zimmer. It takes on a new life and brings it to a different world. And so it's to me it's inspiring to see you found this one song and it just stood out for you, for somebody whose work is like has been something else to so many other people. So it's incredible to see because when I saw it on there I was like, because not many people know this band or his some of his solo work and stuff. And like I said, there's another song on that same album called Johnny Appleseed, and it's quite
Mhm.
interesting. But this song, I thought it was quite fun, and it gives you that sort of playful sound. And so again,
Fun is the word. Yes,
yeah.
I fully agree. Fun is the word there. Yeah. Do your stuff, but have some fun at the same time. Indeed. Yeah.
Now, speaking of fun, track
Mhm.
8 is another one that I had no understanding of. But I did do some research, and apparently, this singer, Italian, as far as I
Right.
recall, he won or it they he won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1990, which I am familiar with Eurovision, um, barely, but and through some of the huge bands that have come from that. But Toto Cutugno,
Toto Cutugno.
Cutugno, okay, and
Yeah.
this one in particular was not this. I don't know if this is later or before, but this one's not the Eurovision song.
No, 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 no. He, you know, I really like Toto Cutugno, you know. He was a big star when I was a kid here in Romania. For us, Italian, it's the closest language. Yeah, you can listen to a Romanian speaking to an Italian, each in their own language, and they will understand each other without having studied the respective
Wow.
languages. Yeah, so it's very, very easy for us to understand Italian. So why I chose it is one because first of all I really love Toto. He's gone unfortunately now. He had a lot of hits. Why I chose this one is not necessarily my favorite of his songs, but because he describes what it means to be an Italian and what happens in Italy, right? Very, you know, typical things. And to me, Italy is my happy place. Yeah,
Mm,
especially the deep countryside of Tuscany. That is really,
beautiful.
really my happy place. Yeah, when I go there, it's really makes me truly, truly ecstatic. So, yeah, he used to be. He used to participate in Eurovision a lot. It was, you know, Italy was so rich with, you know, bands and singers who really enjoyed being part of that movement. Now now the what's it called? This contest is not really. Mm, it's not that popular anymore. It's become very politicized, yeah,
Mm,
because countries have to vote for the others, and you can see there how, you know, neighbors vote for each other,
yeah.
and yeah. So Eurovision doesn't really mean what it meant in the 80s when he was part of it. But anyway,
And I think he's
not.
one of the biggest singers in Italy, or was one of the.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Definitely. Especially at that time, I think he was the best at that time.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for introducing me to Toto, because that was another new one that, although my wife knows him very well and she's familiar with the Eurovision song and looked at me like, you don't know this song? The same with,
I'm also shocked that you don't know him
yeah,
and
I know. In Desireless, she's like, you don't know her either? And I'm like, nope. So those are two gems that I kind of got
Mhm.
missed out on. Um,
Right.
now, number nine is
Mm,
obviously a huge hero for me, but I
mm.
mean, worldwide, I guess but this version is actually, and I really like this version too. It's an incredible version, and then I was intrigued that you put it on your list. So, um, the Elvis Presley, and then this
Right.
is Junkie XL version
Oh.
of the song.
Mhm. Mhm.
So tell me why. I mean, this is incredible, but why did you pick this song?
First of all, why were you intrigued? Back at you.
Because this version is obviously was maybe popular from recently and kind of made it more dance, but I was
Huh?
like just if I wasn't expecting that because of the other tracks here are so
Right.
they have a sort of feeling, and this one's kind of just like taking it to another level. So it's incredible. But
Yeah.
I'm curious why.
Why? First of all, because like probably 99% of the population, I love Elvis, right? Secondly, because it's such a great dance song. And you know, I love rock and roll. I really love it. Uh, this remix, it's really you cannot just stand while listening to it. It makes you move, right? Move your energy. And it's also you see it's a very old song, and it just shows you if it is good, it can stand the test of time, you know, after decades, yeah,
Yeah.
half a century later. um but I also like the message, you know. I'm a very action oriented person, right? And I don't like that much talking, you know, talking to get to
Let's
to
get it
the act.
done.
let's get it done. Yeah. Here he's a bit mischievous. Yeah. He wants to get the girl, but
Yeah,
you can just think about, in my corporate world, you could see a lot of guys, the typical situation is where, a lot of talk happens, but not so much action. Yeah.
yeah.
And things move forward only when action happens, right? So, so many times I just wanted to play this music, guys. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Yeah. Other than this, it's a not a heavy, charged song. It's a very, very light-hearted and playful song. I love Elvis's voice. I think he's one of the most talented person that ever lived, and it's sad he's gone so young, uh, tragically. But other than this, uh,
Yeah,
we still have.
and I still listen to it quite regularly because I have it on some playlist for
Mhm.
cardio or something. So I hear it more, and it has that sort of the remix definitely gives it a more keeps the beat going. But I mean, I
Yeah.
think Elvis definitely crossed over so many different borders of music styles. You know, from
Mm.
gospel to country and rock and roll. And I think
Mhm.
you wouldn't have had so many bands like the Beatles, et cetera, if it wasn't
Mm.
for Elvis. And kind of really put a lot of blues and rock and roll into more
Mhm.
mainstream. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Number 10. We're
That's
coming to
final.
yes. Now this it's called Sounds of Isha.
Mhm.
I wasn't familiar with it, but it's a beautiful piece.
Mm.
So maybe you can kind of share some more about this.
Yeah, that is a sacred chant, right? That is meditation music. So it's Sadhguru is my guru, right? And this is I listen to this chant almost daily, right? There is a moment of presence, as he calls it, at 6:20 p.m., wherever you are in the world, is you can put this music on and just feel you are with him, right? So it's just a sacred music. It transports you, and uh, I chose it because I meditate a lot, right? So meditation is part of my life a lot, like in your case, Sean, as we all know. And I felt it would be unfair not to put something representative for that part of my life here on my list, especially if I listen to this kind of music a lot, almost daily, basically, almost daily. So there's not much to say about it, much more. It has to be listened to.
How important is meditation in your life?
Very, very important. It's mm, together with world travel, it was one of the biggest discoveries that I made maybe 15 years ago, maybe more. Uh, and it saved my life. In all honesty, it's no exaggeration. It saved my life. It was basically in a very low moment of my life that I discovered it, through, reading here and there, and by chance, accidentally, I got into that one, and then I never left from that place. Yeah. So I think it's our natural state to be meditative. It can bring you back to yourself and to the source that we all belong to, and at the same time, it takes you places. Yeah, in a heartbeat. Yeah.
And now you've incorporated this into your new work. So I think you mentioned earlier that you've left the corporate world and
Yeah.
moving more into coaching
Yeah,
This is business coaching or personal coaching?
both life coaching and business coaching. What I do actually right now is life coaching. I'm using my business coaching uh, training for my own business. Yeah, so not as a business coach right now. But yeah, that's a much bigger part of my life right now, as you noticed. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Well, and then thinking about these 10 songs, and the list that you have, and as you mentioned, you'll be kind of changing some of these, you know, in different circumstances and what would be in your, weekly playlist, moving around. How do you see music as, because I think even meditation is almost a kind of version of music if you think about it, and how you have a rhythm that whether breathing through meditation. So how do you see music plays for you to continue to grow and to even for your health in some
Mm.
ways?
Um, First of all, what it does to me, it transports me. And I think this is the quality of music that makes it so accessible to so many people. You don't have to, you saw that music of Gerrard. You don't have to understand what she says. Yeah. It transports me to a free place. Yeah. It puts my mind into a just freedom state of mind. So you can be locked in a room, like I mentioned, during the pandemics. Yeah, you cannot go outside. Yeah, it's danger, it's death outside, but still feel like you have a chance to escape from that prison through music. Okay, so this is what it did to me. In terms of when I mentioned it saved my life, there are so many people that um, cannot quiet their mind, right? So, if nothing else, when you meditate and when you use this kind of sacred chant, like the last one on my list, you can easily quiet your mind. Yeah, you can feel the heartbeat slowing down. Yeah, you can all of a sudden become stillness. Yeah, so and stillness is one of the main conditions to just achieve so much more. Yeah. Spend more time in stillness and you'll achieve much more. This is contradiction apparently, but it's not. Yeah. You have to experience it to understand it. As you, of course, you do, Sean.
No, but it's hard to do. I trust me. I struggle with it, but it's a beautiful sentiment to say. One last question: when you were pulling your list together, what really came to you in terms of like reflections for yourself as you picked these tracks? What was really maybe stood out, kind of, because when you do this, obviously the memories or the feelings or the time and why you chose them. But is there anything that stood out or really kind of maybe a moment for you?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. First of all, uh, I cannot imagine my life without music. Yeah, like in a movie. Imagine a movie without the soundtrack. It's horrible, probably. And secondly, I think the music we pick in such a list, because as you mentioned in the beginning, it wasn't so easy to come up with it. You remember I asked you, give me a couple of days, Sean, to come up with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't take me a couple of days. It took me less than that. But I realized that it reflects me in a way that I'm not just a classical music person. I'm not just a rocker. I'm not just an European. I'm not just a Romanian. I'm not just a person who meditates. Of us are just this big mixture. Yeah, we are melting pots of the experiences and peoples we get in touch with, and that's the beauty of it. Yeah, and as I say, if you ask me again in a month, in a year or so, for sure, maybe some of these songs will still be there. Maybe I'll find a completely different list. Yeah. So it's a beautiful part of life, music. Absolutely beautiful.
And I think you said it perfect. Having a very rounded, eclectic mix of types of music and songs is it's healthy for the soul. Compared to just maybe being one genre, one focus, because so much music is influenced. So if you even have a very from jazz, only if you're jazz fanatic, jazz is influenced by so much. So it's hard to say one thing can only influence one other thing. So and it's a beautiful list that you've shared with us today. So I really appreciate you giving us these tracks to present.
Thank you so much. I can't believe I haven't put some jazz music. Now that you mention it, I'm shocked I haven't put some Stan Getz there and so on. But next time I will.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this.
Irina, thank you so much for being a guest. Really appreciate it.
Thank you too, Sean. It was a pleasure.
And as always, I share and say to everyone, be kind, be humble, be love. And thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Sean.